Assalamu alaikum dear students. So let's continue our topic, that is chapter number 10, magnetic fields due to electric current, and today's lecture will be part 9 of the same chapter. So let's see what we are going to study today. So here we go. We are having some topics, and these are: number 1, we have to study regarding the moving coil galvanometer. Number 2, magnetic dipole moment. And number 3, magnetic potential energy of a dipole. But before study these topics, we have to recall something, that the topic that last time we have studied. So can you recall how does the coil in a motor rotate by a full rotation? In a motor, we require continuous rotation of the current carrying coil, as the plane of the coil tends to become parallel to the magnetic field vector of B. The current in the coil is reversed externally. Referring to above figure, the segment AB occupies the position CD. At this position of rotation, the current is reversed. Instead of from B to A, it flows from A to B, so that the force Fm, that is the magnetic force, continues to act in the same direction, so that the torque continues to rotate the coil. The reversal of the current is achieved by using a commutator, which connects the wire of this power supply to the coil via carbon brush contacts. This thing we have already seen in our previous video lecture. Now let's move to the topic, that is moving coil galvanometer. This topic is nothing new for you. We have already studied this topic in our previous chapter, that was current electricity. So let's see. Moving coil galvanometer is an instrument which is used to measure electric currents. It is a sensitive electromagnetic device which can measure low currents, even of the order of a few microamperes. Moving coil galvanometers are mainly divided into two types, that is number 1, suspended coil galvanometer, and number 2, pivoted coil of galvanometer. A moving coil galvanometer works on the principle that a current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field experiences clock on your screen. Can you see the basic construction of moving coil galvanometer? It consists of a permanent magnet, a coil, round around a soft iron core. The axis of the core is fixed and attached to a pivot, in turn attached to a pointer to a string. In order to use the galvanometer, it is attached, as you can see, in the circuit. On switching the circuit on, the current flow through the circuit. A torque acts on the coil due to magnetic field, and thus that causes deflection in the spring, and therefore the torque is equal to NIB. As you can see on the screen, that is tau is equal to NIAB, where N, capital N, is the number of turns of the coil, I is the current in the circuit, and B is the applied magnetic field, strength of magnetic field, and A is the area of the coil. Now small k is torsional constant of the spring, theta is the deflection, and k theta finally equal to NIAB. Now the deflection and the current are related by the expression, that is phi is equal to in the bracket NAB upon small k, close the bracket I. Here NAB upon k is our constant for the galvanometer. So with the help of the theta, we can able to find the value of current in the circuit. So after galvanometer, we are having next topic, that is magnetic dipole moment. A vector quantity associated with the magnetic properties of electric current loops, or more generally magnets. It is equal to the amount of current flowing through the loop multiplied by the area encompassed by the loop, and its direction is established by the right hand rule for rotations that I have explained you in my previous video lectures. It can be thought of as a vector pointing from the south to the north of a magnetic dipole, and it is then equal to the length of the dipole times the strength of either of its poles, and also called magnetic moment. In standard 11th, I have taught you this. Finally, mu is equal to 2L into small m, where small m was the magnetic strength and 2L was the dipole length of the magnet. So that was the for the bar magnet. But if we are having a loop with us, so what will be the magnetic dipole moment of that closed loop? We have to see that. So it will be, thus we call this quantity as a vector of mu, the magnetic dipole moment. Unlike electric fields, magnetic fields do not have charge counterparts. In other words, there are no sources or sinks of magnetic fields. There can only be a dipole. Anything that can produce a magnetic field comes with both a source and a sink. That is, there is both a north pole and south pole. In many ways, the magnetic dipole is the fundamental unit that can produce a magnetic field. Most elementary particles behave intrinsically as magnetic dipoles. For example, the electron itself behaves as a magnetic dipole and has a spin magnetic dipole moment. This magnetic moment is intrinsic, as the electron has neither an area A, that is, it is a point object, nor does it spin around itself, but is fundamental to the nature of the electron's existence. We can generalize the magnetic moment for n turns of the wire loop as mu is equal to NIA. The magnetic field lines of a current loop look similar to that of an idealized electric dipole. This is the similarity between magnetic lines of a current loop and electric line. So finally, mu is equal to NIA, labeled is as equation number 3, where N is the number of turns of the coil, I is the current of the coil, capital A the area enclosed by each turn of the coil if held in uniform magnetic field vector B, the torque responsible for the rotation of the coil, as we know that torque is the force that causing rotation. So according to equation, tau is equal to NIAB sin theta. It will be tau is equal to mu B sin theta. Now why we have written mu here? Because we know the value of magnetic formula for the magnetic dipole moment, that is mu is equal to NIA. So instead of that NIA, we can able to write mu only, where theta be an angle between mu and B. Therefore, tau is equal to vector of tau is equal to vector of mu, cross product of vector of mu and vector of b, and labeled is as equation number 4. Now why we have taken the cross product? Because sine theta, see the green equation, that is tau is equal to mb sine theta. So sine theta is there, that's why we have taken the cross product. That means it is a cross product. Similarly, torque on an electric dipole exerted by electric field, so it will become tau is equal to vector of p cross product of vector of e. Labeled is as equation number 5. Now let's move further for the next topic, that is third number topic, magnetic potential energy of a dipole. It has been shown that the potential energy that is considered here as a capital U of an electric dipole P in an electric field E is given by U is equal to minus of P dot E, where P is the electric dipole moment, E is the electric field. Now this equation we will study in the chapter electrostatics, where we will derive this equation. So now just write this equation and label it as equation number 6. Analogously, the magnetic potential energy of a magnetic dipole, that is mu in a magnetic field, that is vector of B, is given by U is equal to minus of mu dot B. Now P is the electric dipole moment and mu is the magnetic dipole moment. E is the electric field and B is the magnetic field. So see the similarity between these. Only terms are replacing. So finally, as it is the dot product, see the equation number 7, that is the dot product. Now take the scalar quantity of equation number 7, so it will become minus mu b cos theta. Now this is the final potential energy of a dipole, magnetic dipole. So labeled is as equation number 8, where theta is the angle between mu and b. After this, we have to consider two cases where we can able to find where will be the potential energy minimum, where will be the maximum potential energy we will get. So case number 1, see the case number 1, if theta is equal to 0, as we know that theta is the angle between magnetic dipole and magnetic field. So if the angle between them is 0, so finally U is equal to minus mu b cos, instead of theta we will put the value of theta, that is 0. So finally cos 0 is 1. So we will have minus mu b. Now as this is the minus sign is with us, that means this is the minimum potential energy of a magnetic dipole in magnetic field. That is when they are parallel to each other. Now how parallel to each other? See that angle between them is 0. So we can conclude that finally when they will be the parallel to each other, so we will get the minimum energy. Now let's consider the second case. If theta is 180 degree, so U is equal to minus mu b cos, instead of theta we will put the value, that is 180 degree. So finally, as we know that cos 180 is minus 1. So minus minus will cancel each other and it will become plus. So finally we will have mu b. Nothing is there, that means the sign is positive. So finally potential energy will be mu b. So this is the maximum potential energy of a magnetic dipole in a magnetic field. That is when they are anti-parallel to each other. Now anti-parallel, see the theta between magnetic dipole and magnetic field is 180 degree. That means they are anti-parallel to each other. So when they will anti-parallel to each other, so we will have maximum value. So let's have one example, that is a circular coil of conducting wire has 500 turns and an area 1.26 into 10 raised to minus 4 ampere meter square is enclosed by the coil. A current of 100 microampere is passed through the coil calculate the magnetic moment of the coil. So here the data I have highlighted it by different colors, so you can see. Now let's see the solution for the same. So finally the formula for the same is what? We have to find the magnetic dipole moment. So final formula for the same is mu is equal to NIA, where N is the number of turn that is given as 500, I is the current that is given as 100 microampere. Now micro stand for, yes, 10 raised to minus 6, and A is the area. It is also given as 1.26 into 10 raised to minus 4 ampere meter square. So substitute all the values, and after substituting the value, the final answer that we are getting is 630 into 10 raised to minus 8. That is, if we are shifting the points, so we will have 6.3 into 10 raised to minus 6 ampere meter square, or joule per Tesla. So this is the solution of the above numerical or example. So this is how you are going to calculate the magnetic moment of the coil. Now after this I am having few questions that will help you to solve the 1 marks or very short type of the questions. These are: what is magnetic dipole moment of a current loop? So the answer for the same is that the magnetic dipole moment of a current loop carrying current I with area capital A is given as the magnitude of M. You may write mu also, that is mod of mu or mod of M is equal to IA only. The direction of the magnetic dipole moment is perpendicular to the plane of the current loop. Now see, the basic formula of magnetic dipole moment of a coil is mu is equal to NIA, where capital N is the number of turns of the coil. Here we are having loop, so that will be IA only. So this is what a magnetic dipole moment of a current loop. Let's move further for the next question, that is, how does an atom behave as a magnetic dipole? So the answer for the same is the electrons in an atom revolve around the nucleus, as we know that, in a closed orbit. The orbit around the nucleus is equivalent to a current loop, as the electrons are charged particles. The electrons revolve in anticlockwise while the current revolves in the clockwise direction. This movement of the electrons creates a south pole and north pole, resulting in atoms' behavior as a magnetic dipole. So hope you will understand that how does an atom behave as a magnetic dipole. So this is the simple explanation for the same. So let's stop here, and inshallah in the next video lecture again I will be having some more interesting topics. Till then, keep study and stay blessed.